Welcome to our channel. We've been digging through some incredible old Orlando photos, and we can't wait to show you how these places have changed in these then and now comparisons. Let us know which photos you enjoyed most. First, we'll take a look at an intro video from 1960.
Orlando has long been known as the City Beautiful. For in Orlando there are many flowers. And trees made out of sunlight. In Orlando there are 54 lakes. And thousands of beautiful homes. But in the past few years, as one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, Orlando has gained a new distinction, a one-of-its-kind parlay of sunlight, beauty, recreation, and modern industrial opportunity. It is a city of old established customs and huge new industries, as new as the day after tomorrow.
This is the Church Street Station on South Street, photographed in the early 1900s. Here is the same building today. It was built as a train station in the 1880s, became a wild nightlife hotspot in the 1970s and 80s, and later reopened as part of Orlando's SunRail system, while also hosting early shows by Garth Brooks. Here is the San Juan Hotel on Orange Avenue, captured in the early 1900s. It was demolished in 1980, replaced by what is now the Morgan & Morgan Building. It opened in 1885 as Orlando's very first major hotel and stayed a beloved downtown landmark before it was badly destroyed by a fire in 1979. This is the Beacham Theatre on North Orange Avenue, pictured in the 1920s. It still stands today, but with a stunning renovated entrance. Built in 1921, it began as a vaudeville and movie theater, hosting legends like W.C. Fields. It is now a modern concert venue and nightclub. Here is Orange Avenue at Washington Street in the 1940s. The tall red brick building on the left is the Angebilt Building, which still stands today. Built as a grand hotel in the 1920s, it welcomed famous visitors like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Joan Crawford. Today, it is packed with offices, restaurants, bars, and shops. This is Orange Avenue at Central Avenue in the 1940s. Here is the same view today. Since the 1870s, Orange Avenue has helped shape downtown Orlando, growing from simple shops into a major center of historic hotels and theaters. Here is Pine Street at South Court Avenue in the 1930s. Many of these original buildings are still standing, though they look much different today. A key business area since the 1880s, Pine Street still shows off Orlando's classic old brick style. This is the U.S. Post Office and Courthouse on Jefferson Street, photographed in the early 1940s. As you can see, the building's outside has barely changed since then. The building was completed in 1941 and has featured the U.S. Post Office since 1941, the Federal District Courthouse from the 40s to the 70s, and a Roman Catholic Church office since 2003. This was the Federal Savings and Loan Building at Orange Avenue and Livingston Street, captured in the 1950s. The impressive Orange County Courthouse currently occupies its former site. This was the Orange County Courthouse and Annex, pictured in 1964. It was torn down in the 2000s, partly because asbestos made it dangerous and expensive to repair. That courthouse opened in 1960. The site is now the beautiful Orlando Heritage Park. This was Orlando City Hall, built in the 1950s and photographed here in 1985. It was demolished in 1991 and swapped out for a brand new City Hall building. Its 1991 demolition was filmed for the movie Lethal Weapon 3, used in an action scene with stars Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. This picture shows a woman standing on the peaceful shore of Lake Eola in 1958. In the years since, Orlando built a scenic viewing platform on this exact spot. Lake Eola is technically a 23-acre sinkhole known for its dazzling nighttime fountain and the beautiful 1-mile walking path around it. This is a photo of the downtown Orlando skyline in 1970. This is what it looks like today. In the early 70s, downtown Orlando was in decline as businesses closed, people moved to suburbs, and few new buildings were added. From the 80s through the 2000s, however, new investment sparked a construction boom that added many tall buildings and made the skyline much denser. This 1940s image captures the northern section of Lake Eola Park, looking west toward downtown Orlando. This is what the same view looks like today. Lake Eola Park dates back to the 1880s when legendary businessman Jacob Summerlin generously donated land around the lake. Over time, the park grew and changed, adding features like the iconic fountain, first built in 1912 and later rebuilt. This was Fletcher Motors at 1020 North Orange Avenue in the 1940s. Today, the once busy old car dealership is just a parking lot. Here is McClammy's Tiny Diny 2 on North Orange Avenue, pictured in the 1940s. Today, the restaurant is long gone and has been replaced by a modern commercial building. I had a little trouble finding the exact years McClammy's Tiny Diny 2 was open, but it lives on through vintage postcards. This photo shows the Orange Court Motor Lodge, also called the Orange Court Hotel, near downtown Orlando in 1959. Today, a modern apartment complex sits on the former site. The Orange Court Hotel was built in 1924 and was finally demolished in 1990. This was the College Park National Bank, photographed in the early 1960s. Today, a shiny mixed-use building stands on the bank's former site. The bank had opened in 1952, and that building was replaced by the current structure in the mid-2000s. Here is a photo of Colonial Plaza in the 1950s, located on North Bumby Avenue in Orlando. The mall still exists today, but it has been renovated over time, and its appearance has changed dramatically. Colonial Plaza opened in the 1950s as the largest shopping center in Florida at that time. It originally had fully enclosed, air-conditioned indoor sections with connected hallways, but those were demolished and swapped for the open-air shopping center layout we see today. Here is a picture of the Arrowhead Restaurant on Orange Blossom Trail taken in the early 1950s. The original building was torn down in 1998, and today the site is home to a craft brewery. Arrowhead became Chastain's in 1956, and Chastain's stayed open for more than 40 years as a legendary Orlando restaurant. This was McNamara Pontiac on West Colonial Drive, shown in the 1980s. The building is still there today, but it is no longer a Pontiac dealership. McNamara Pontiac opened in 1961 by Dennis McNamara after he returned from military service. The dealership finally closed in 2006. This is Orlando Station as it looked in the 1940s. Here is the same spot today. The station was built in 1926 to serve passenger trains rolling in and out of Orlando, and it later became an important stop for both Amtrak and SunRail service. This is Broadway Street in the nearby community of Kissimmee, photographed in 1940. Here is the same view today. Broadway Avenue came alive in the late 1800s as Kissimmee developed after its incorporation in 1883, and it became the city's beloved main street for trade and local business. Thankfully, many historic buildings have been reused instead of torn down. In 1982, musician Pat Travers used a recording studio at 3419 Lake Breeze Drive in Orlando. Here is the same location today. Travers also recorded music at Orlando's BJ Recording Studios, a legendary studio that was located here at 2500 Silver Star Road in Orlando and is now completely gone. The studio hosted rock acts such as Molly Hatchet and Judas Priest. Downtown Orlando as seen from I-4 in the 1960s. This scene has transformed dramatically over the years, and I had trouble finding a photo from the exact same spot, but this image was taken close to the 60s one. Interstate 4 was cut through Orlando in the late 1950s and 1960s, becoming the city's main highway and later exploding as Orlando expanded, and new attractions like Walt Disney World opened. Here is Walt Disney World's Main Street. photographed in 1975. As you can see in this modern image, the street hasn't changed much. However, this photo was taken during off hours because you would almost never see it this empty. Walt Disney World Resort was built starting in 1967. Construction took about 4 years, and the magical resort officially opened in 1971. Before it was built, the land was mostly swamps, orange groves, forests, and cattle ranches. Admission in the 1970s only cost a few dollars. Walt Disney himself was deeply involved in the early planning, but he passed away in 1966, long before the park opened. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for more videos like this, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Before you go, make sure to check out these 2 fascinating videos. Thanks for watching the History Stop, and we'll see you next time.